We're going to turn the stage around. And while we do that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Proptech Session. For the very first time, we are having a Shark Tank style live pitching. We have an exciting lineup of cutting-edge startups who are ready to showcase their groundbreaking solutions in PropTech, from CRM to loyalty management to IoT-based energy monitoring and even AI-powered products. To guide us through this dynamic session, we have a very highly esteemed moderator. We have a panel of distinguished developer judges who have a vast experience in real estate development and even in investment and technology. And they're going to take the stage, and we're going to get started very, very soon. Leading today's session as our moderator, we have an industry expert with extensive knowledge in both investments and in market trends. I think we're almost good to go. Okay. Sorry, our camera people are very careful about how this is going to appear on camera. But meanwhile, let's welcome on stage Ms. Binitha Dalal. Welcome, Binitha. And time to welcome our esteemed panel of developer judges who will be evaluating the startups. Mr. Dhaval Ajmera, Director, Ajmera Group, Mumbai. Mr. Mohit Goeal, Managing Director, Omaxe Group, Delhi. And Mr. Nimish Arora, Managing Director, Arora Group, Delhi. Welcome, gentlemen. Binitha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Zina. Good afternoon, everyone. This is after lunch. I hope everyone's awake. If not, I think what we're bringing to you today is going to ensure that you're glued to your seats. How many of you in the room have actually seen Shark Tank? Not bad. How many of you enjoy it? Apart from Ashni's Doglapan, how many of you actually enjoyed it? Very nice. So, taking cue from that and the message of our CREDAI president to bring tech into real estate, before we start up and get the startups on stage, I just want to bring to you a couple of background in terms of what we're doing here today and how this session is going to work. 3 years back, CREDAI partnered with VCATS and Neo1 to create a fund called Spire, which would bring tech to the real estate sector and invest in new age tech to change the way we do our business. This fund is a $100 million fund. We've already closed our first round. We've done a couple of investments. And today what we're presenting to you is a pre-IC of this fund, where we'll have 3 startups come present to us. We have 3 distinguished sharks in the room and a very large array of supporters of this initiative and contributors in terms of whether a company should go ahead or not for the next round, who will assess and tell us whether, finally, whether this investment should happen or not. With that, eventually, the company that makes it through the IC could probably get close to, say, 1 to 10 million, depending on what their round size is. And to start off with that, I think it's important that we bring in our first presenter, which is Akhil Saraf from a company called Reloy. Reloy is something which, you know, a lot of us have heard this word SaaS, and a lot of us are a little confused on what SaaS terminology is. But to help us with that and present his startup, let's bring on Akhil right now.
Thank you so much to everyone in the room. Thanks, Binitha, for that lovely introduction. So I'll introduce Reloy quickly. So we are the operating system of real estate. Like, we are like how Android is for hardware manufacturers. We position ourselves to be the software for the buildings that you guys create. Now, what are the 3 core things that we are looking at? A, are you getting the maximum value out of your customers and brokers? So typically what happens with the builder is that you sell, you treat them very well till you collect 10%, and after that the communications gets a little dry because you're sending construction updates and you're getting demands, and that's the entire communication, right? Now, from a customer's point of view, that's a very negative way of talking because you're just asking for money. So what if we could change that entire thing and keep them happy, keep them engaged for that 3 to 5 years so that we can get referral sales out. Happy customers in real estate refer their friends and family to buy from the same builder. And that's the core of what we do. Second, can you solve for this individually or do you need a collective approach? What we've done is that we've brought together the largest builders of the country, right? Like 45 of the biggest names, which I'll show you guys in a bit. And together, we are going to the largest brands and saying, solve for our customers. That's the best way of getting through to this. Now, in this entire thing, we keep your data completely secure because we are not in that play, right? Like, we are not a broker, we are not an advertisement agency, we are not here to trade on your data, right? So, what do? We have the best looking app that exists in real estate today, period. You guys invest a lot in your sales gallery, you guys invest a lot in your projects, but end up making ugly looking apps. We invested a lot in the UI because your customers already used to better, right? They're used to a Swiggy and Amazon or an Uber. You can't be making a bad looking app because it makes them think of you poorly for the 3 to 5 years that they're waiting for you. Now, in this app, you get everything. So welcome gifts and housewarming gifts is sponsored by our partner brands, right? So an Asian Paints, an Atomberg, a Wellspun, these guys are giving free gifts for your customers just because they are also looking to target these guys. Same, we've created a rewards ecosystem. This allows us to personalize referrals that if someone likes travel more, someone likes cash, someone likes home interiors, we can personalize every referral so that we can keep them ticking. Ticket management, of course, because we want to smoothen that entire experience, CRM, so all your demands is streamlined on the platform, but we take it to the next level by gamifying it. So on your electricity bill, you see a 0.5% discount that you get if you pay faster. What if we did that for real estate, right? Like, wouldn't we save a lot of interest just by giving a 1,000 rupee Amazon voucher? So we effectively did that on this platform itself, and we are coming up with the next generation of visitor management, right? And I'll explain the problem of visitor management in a couple of slides. On the broker side, we've streamlined the entire experience, digitized onboarding. You can sign up using Aadhaar OTP itself. We allow you to broadcast collateral. So just imagine you can have a personalized collateral sent as a WhatsApp to all your brokers instantly, right? Just imagine the power during a launch that every day you're sending out a new creative and getting everyone excited to sell with their own Facebook ad, their own Insta ad personalized to them. Then comes the real-time tracking, so full transparency about what's happening from site visit to booking to 10% getting paid, and finally invoicing, right? And invoices also is completely digitized. The system can generate an invoice basis the brokerage, and even play this out in very interesting ways because you can give a loyalty program across all the projects that you guys are selling so that the brokerage is just more interesting. You create more stickiness. We are working with the largest guys, so right from Godrej, Shapoorji, Embassy, DLF, L&T Realty, K. Raheja, the largest builders are on our platform. They have collectively come together because they understand that individually it is a very difficult problem to solve. But when you have someone who's managing 50,000 possessions in a year, you get incredibly strong brands to come and give freebies, right? So Swiggy is giving free Swiggy One, Chroma is giving 5 to 12% off, Asian Paints is giving $2,000, Porter's giving $1,000, Atomberg $1,500 with no minimum purchase, right? This is not a gimmick that, okay, spend 5,000, get 1,000, right? This is just no minimum purchase, free stuff from these guys for your customers on possession. Now, what do we want to build, right? The visitor managements like MyGate and a bunch of these guys have never been built from a builder's perspective. I believe that visitor management needs to not only create the next generation of buildings with digital amenities, right? Like smarter stuff that give air quality sensors, show how clean the air is in the gym, have a visitor management piece where the ad is going off your project to the visitor, right? How many of you over here have tapped visitors to sell the project that they are visiting? None of you, right? Like one name over there. So that's an interesting opportunity because we can automatically get a referral out for someone who's by default doing a site visit into your house. So give them a simple landing page, automatically generated from our platform, and it creates this for you, right? The opportunities are endless, and that's sort of what we are going for, right? So just some stats, we had 22,000 deals redeemed on the platform last year. We sent over 95 lakh communications, so we take care of all the marketing for you. We create the brand, run the, get the partnerships, and send out the WhatsApps that's required to generate this. We did 2,000 crores of referral sales by just gifting a 1% discount and getting a 1% cashback across the industry. Right? We are managing 2.2 lakh customers in the thing. The team is all-star. My personal background is in tax consulting, but my CTO worked at Qualcomm, LinkedIn, went to Kellogg for his MBA. Abhay, who heads our sales, worked 11 years in real estate sales. Shakun, who heads our marketing, was working at Alchemist, which is one of the largest. She was a business head at Alchemist before moving in. Nizam, with strategic alliances, was business head at Groupon. Broader team also you will find from tier A guys that we are able to attract. We are backed by HDFC Capital. We were the first named startup where HDFC Group put in money publicly and put out a PR about it. IPV, Blue Lotus Ventures. Blue Lotus Ventures is led by a global director of Google. And they also recognize that while Google is guessing on the data, we actually have that data to build on the marketing tech. That's about it. We want to build a collective narrative for this industry because we believe that together, if we speak one language, we can win.
Thank you so much, Akhil. That's a well done presentation just in time. Sorry, I forgot to mention the time matrix, which I will clarify. Just before I hand it over to the sharks to ask you, for them to ask you the questions, what's your current valuation and how much are you looking at raising?
So our last round a couple of years ago was at 52 crores post-value, post-money. And currently, we are raising 20 crores.
Okay. Now I'm handing it over to the sharks for all their feedback and Q&A.
So, Akhil, just tell me one thing. When you say that you have 2,000 crore referral, right? We've done. So, is it primarily, how do you define that this has happened only because somebody used a Reloy app?
This is the figure where we've paid out the final customer. So the actual number is actually way higher than that. But this is where I have credited the person with the money in their bank.
So basically, you've got a reference from the app-based thing of your app, and then it's been that customer, the new customer, has been interested in one of the developer project, and that is where it has. And what do you take as a referral fee?
So yes and no to the first part of the question. We don't try to compete with your CRM team. We encourage customers to even refer to your CRM team. While it's easy for us to start giving incentives to refer only online, but we don't want to get into a fight with your CRM team, right? So it comes from both platforms. So we take a cut on offline referrals as well. Typically, we charge the builder anywhere from 1.25 to 1.75% of the sale value, which includes a referral benefit that we are paying out to the customer, right? Which dynamically changes over a period of time.
इसके अलावा और क्या तरीका है आपके रेवेन्यू बनाने का?
Referral के अलावा we actually take a SaaS fee. So every builder we take a fixed fee so that we cover our costs in terms of deployment.
Is this the only revenue method you have, the referral fees and the SaaS fees?
Yeah. So we are now going to get into monetizing the strategic alliances arc of things. So all the brands that we've partnered with, we are driving enough engagement for them. So we do want to now start charging these guys. Interestingly, we just, as of yesterday, we closed our deal with IKEA, where even in markets that they don't serve, we can deliver IKEA products to customers on our platform, right? So, and there's a direct commission on that deal itself.
So I have a question. Right now, your model is primarily dependent on developers, and developers typically, it is addressing the pre-possession cycle of the pretty much the the brokers and the referrals, and as well as the customer's journey is what you are trying to kind of give value in. Why are you now getting into visitor management, or what is your logic of going in that direction? Because that's actually a post-possession kind of a journey where the developer pretty much hands over to an RWA. How does that improve your revenue model? And there are already other startups which are way ahead in that journey and who have pretty much penetrated the entire market. Couple of them which pretty much serve almost 50-60% of the ecosystem. Why would you want to enter that field and burn money there?
two reasons for that, right? A, visitor management's not been done with the lens of a builder, right? Your objective is to sell. Every single builder retains about 10% inventory when possession's coming up. We want to help you sell that at the lowest cost where brokers aren't strong-arming you, right? That you have a captive base coming to your site, let's help you sell that. Second part of this is that I personally believe that buildings are boring, right? So buildings are boring to the point that you guys have been selling swimming pools and gyms and as your only amenities for, 20 years now, right? So if that's the only attraction, what's new, right? The houses are objectively getting smaller, so at least make the living experience better. So tech is the best way of doing that.
आप developers के room में बैठे हो आप कह रहे हो
Absolutely, right? Like, and I'm not ashamed to say the reason why I'm raising funding is because like tech in real estate is really bad, and I need to scale this up in ways that like we are imagining as a team.
Yeah, but developers are not worried to once their product is ready.
Right.
Cost of sales or worry of sales is no longer there, and if only 10% inventory is left. So it's not really. I mean, I don't see that solving a challenge, to be honest.
You want to sell
and
it
how
cheaper?
will that generate additional revenue?
Wouldn't you want to sell it cheaper? Like our cost of sale is 1.5%, right? If you give and take there. Against the 3% or 4% that you'd be paying a broker. So you're saving 1.5% on ready inventory where you don't really have that much effort to sell. So you're saving money. And again, buildings are boring, right? Like we need to make it better. So we do need to create smarter technologies. And I'll give you some examples, right? That if I'm sending you an invite to visit my building, can it automatically give you an update on the guest parking, whether it's currently occupied or not? Right? It's just a fancy way of saying hello to a guest, right? So do you want to appear in that way where you're creating a modern futuristic building, or do you still want to be selling that old amenity-free building?
I have one last question.
Right.
With all the brands who are offering the deals to your,
Right.
I mean, to the people on your platform, are you spending to bring them on board? What's it in it for them? Or are you giving them data?
When the customer actively chooses to claim an offer, right, that they want to claim against Attenberg, only then will say Attenberg get that data. Otherwise, that data will never go into anyone's
That data is effectively being exchanged for that deal.
To service the customer, yes.
Okay.
Right? Just because the customer has actively chosen to give their own data to this particular brand. We will never sell anyone's data. All data is kept in independent Amazon Web Services account where we give you the ID password. So it's always secure. I'm not in the data game. I'm not a broker. I've done this for 9 years and not built a brokerage business through the top and the worst of the cycles between COVID and now. Right.
Interesting. Thank you, Akhil. Gutsy statement, I must say, that buildings are boring when you're pitching to real estate developers. But thank you for this. And I think you should wait because we will be announcing the results after everyone pitches.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. See you.
Well, with that first round, I think before I bring on the next startup, an important thing to know is that how many of us have experienced fires in the building? Anyone in their projects had a fire due to a short circuit or could have, Milind, I love the fact that you're putting your hand up saying that I had a short circuit. So I'm going to bring up a new startup which is trying to change the way short circuits can be prevented and you can get to know before an apartment or a fire can happen in the building by using AI. I would like to call up Kaushik to present Susk Labs.
What a lovely stage. Thank you, Binitha. So good to present in front of our existing customers and clients, some champion ones who have referred us to many others, and some old friends, some new ones that have made today. Lovely, lovely stage. Thank you, Spire. Thank you, CREDAI. So I'm Kaushik from Susk Labs. I'm joined by my colleagues. We have taken AI inside electricity metering. And this is how it looks like inside a Schneider meter. You would also see us taking the Panasonic colors and some other colors as we go along. But like my friends from Relay said, see us as operating system for smart meters, not real estate. We are the operating system for smart meters. What we have done is our one device is able to talk about various appliances inside the home without deploying any additional sensors at the appliance level. That was the first product that we launched, which is the first piece that the AI cracked, and that is positioned more like Fitbit for homes. Where what we bumped into while solving this was the ability to predict fire 15, 20 minutes in advance. And since the launch of this feature last year, around 1st of January, we have at least had 4 cases of avoided fires. And in fact, some of you have experienced the war room that we had set up and the sort of alerts that the users were experiencing. Now, fires are real. And it's a very relatable story for the India market. I'm happy that nobody experienced fire here, very limited experienced fire here. That's a testimony to the sort of quality that you're already delivering. But fires happen. And what we are now saying is, one device that goes inside the main circuit breaker pairs with your Wi-Fi, just like Google Chromecast or Amazon Fire Stick, and then pushes data on your phone in real time. That is what we have built. And if that device is also able to talk about, okay, let me just take a couple of steps back, not talk about the product. Let me do a pitch for the real estate developers. When Rustamji uses our product, the pitch to Rustamji is, Rustamji cares, and cares not just for your future, which is sustainable, but for your present, which is safe and secure. And that is exactly what we are out there to do. There was a video that didn't run, but we'll come back to that. So, like I was saying, this is just one device. When you plug in the EV, this device is going to decide should the EV be charged from the grid, the Tesla wall, or the solar panel. And this is happening today. That is the Panasonic story for us. This is typically how it's deployed. You have the meter room, you have the MCB switches up there, and then you have us at the very top. And these are blanket deployments that are happening across Mumbai as we speak. And whatever we are doing, it's purely referral, purely word of mouth, so quality of revenue is really good. And we are really happy. And honestly, there has been, well, I wouldn't say very conducive push, but some push definitely from the government in terms of mandating a product such as this. The market size, historically, while we were only focusing on homes, was valued at $40 billion. This is the first phase of the market. But guess what? The fire is not just limited to homes. Now we are looking at close to $128 billion in the first phase of the market. So it's humongous. So one wouldn't have to scratch their head to understand where is the market coming from, how compelling is the story. Like I said, and in the first phase, you will only find us creating more enablers. You would have our own branded product. You would have us inside a Schneider, inside an Inepro, inside a Panasonic. Subsequently, the same product would be able to also talk about the health of your appliance. What time is an AC coming on? What time is the geyser going off? What is the health of your refrigerator? And if you wish to choose to create a ticket for Urban Company, you say yes and a ticket is raised. And I'm sorry, it's not just Urban Company, but also competitors to Urban Company. We know we have champions sitting here who are leading another story. So in terms of the global competition, we are looking at mostly competition in the US that are focusing on a very premium D2C brand. What we are saying is that it doesn't have to be necessarily the case. It can be a much more developer-centric, much more user-centric opportunity. Why do we think this is a good bet? So let's just talk about absolute returns. Ekdam dhande ke tarah sochte hain. We are looking at a very large market. We are looking at an extremely capital-efficient opportunity where we are licensing this technology to these largest OEMs, because you would find us inside your favorite brand, the brand that you trust the most. It could be Schneider, it could be Siemens, it could be ABB, you name it. And the revenue growth that we have seen without a penny in marketing spend is the testimony to what I'm just trying to talk about here on this dais. I'm going to skip these slides. We'll come to this later. That's a team that built this. Soumya and I, we go back 34, 35 years, more than that, in fact, but that almost reveals my age. He's IIIT Allahabad, I'm Indore. He's worked with D.E. Shaw, and he's mostly been on the tech side. I was a Rolls-Royce fellow at Oxford, studied in IE and London Business School. Been in energy risk, water risk space for the last 15 years. Worked with the World Business Council and a couple of other international organizations. And we have a champion team. We have team coming. We've been able to get team from Ola, from Xerox Research, from Rebel Food to help us build this story. These are the investors, advisors that we have. The last round, and yeah, some stellar advisors and investors. So we have KP Balraj, the co-founder of Sequoia India. We have ex-MD of Rothschild. We have the current MD of GEF Capital, and many, many others. The current round that we raised was around $1.2 million, closed very, very recently. Happy to extend this to Spire. I mean, if you choose to. Happy to get into the nuances, talk about the details. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kaushik, for your presentation. And I'm now going to open it up to the sharks to ask you your questions.
See, the thing with technology is that it changes. And when it changes, companies die. My first question when I was listening to your pitch was simple, that these big companies like Schneider, Panasonic, if they pick or they make the technology which you've made and they put it in their own devices and start selling it to us, where will you go?
So they are taking the license. So if you look at the intelligence layer within Mirai of Panasonic or the intelligence layer within Visor of Schneider, that is us. So idea is to disrupt their existing SKUs via them. So we are not trying to get into the hardware space. That's not my core competency. That's not my team's competency. What we are saying is, if one device can replace the entire MCB box of your home, and it is going to happen. Maybe it's not us, maybe it would be somebody else, but it is going to happen because the patent is filed. The moment patent is public, there would be other competition as well that we would expect. So the entire MCB box replaced to one device and one isolator is exactly what we're talking about. And when we know we are the original creator of this technology, it is fair to assume if we with the $1 million raised and few more that we would subsequently raise, I'm confident. I think we should have some lion's share in this space. I mean, and it wouldn't be fair to operate all alone. That would not be the best use of the capital. But the possibility of disruption, us getting disrupted, I wouldn't say we are confident to the extent of saying that there's no chance that can happen, but I'm also confident there is a larger risk for the legacy players out there to handle and deal with.
I just want to understand, frankly, I just saw your pitch, but I'm being very honest that I'm not able to understand. This is only able to help us save fire or detect fire, which I have to install in every of my MCB devices.
Every apartment, yes.
Every apartment, and for every equipment, or it'll be one?
Just one device for the entire home or one shop or one unit. So essentially one device in series to the meter.
So then why do you say it's a Fitbit for it? What do I see in the app? Only that when there is like a fire detection?
No, so that would have been the video. So essentially there is a beautiful app that talks about the overall consumption, that also talks about the appliance level consumption without deploying any additional sensors at the appliance level. So while solving that, we realized that, hey, there's a much larger problem that we're also solving, which is possibly protecting a home from fire.
And when do you say that you probably get to know that there might be a possibility of a fire, and then what is the mechanism for it to know that? How do you probably know that, okay, this is probably going to be leading to a fire?
I would love to have shown that video, but what I'm going to explain right now is, when a fire is an extreme case of anomaly, but whenever any anomaly happens, it does not happen overnight. It happens gradually. So the first case of fire that we experienced that we could not stop, where the device was used for forensic, was the screw was rusted. The screw that was used on the MCB itself was rusted, and that led to lesser torque in the screw. That led to local arcing. We had evidences close to 12 hours in advance, and we could have stopped that fire. And subsequently, what happened is, when we got ourselves certified by the NABL lab, we realized that, yes, fire, understanding an arcing, understanding an inrush, understanding a short circuit is something that we are able to do. But what is also interesting is we are able to understand before it has arrived to that point. When the degradation starts, when the anomaly starts, the cluster movement has already begun, and we are able to track that cluster movement.
And lastly, what is the cost of this equipment?
So it totally depends on the real estate developers. If you want to bundle it with your existing Siemens or Schneider or existing shunts or auxiliaries, it can go up to as much as 10,000, 12,000 rupees. But if you buy it in silo from Amazon or generally use this as an amenity, it can go down to as much as 7,000-8,000 rupees.
So how much percentage is that on top of my existing spend as a developer?
So honestly,
And what is my payback?
so your payback is so okay. If I have to talk about your payback, it's like expecting a Fitbit to talk about what is the probability of reducing the heart attack. It can't happen. I wouldn't be able to answer that question. But the way I would rather want to answer this is, it is like I said, it's a pitch, right? You care for your user, you care for your, and that is not just for the future, which is sustainable, but for your present, which is safe and secure. That is your marketing pitch. That is what your users are going to experience.
Got it. I think the last question. Is it like 100% chances that you're going to predict fire, or you can go wrong as well?
So we are at par with AFDDs and MCBs and the other ELCBs that you have at this stage. The interesting thing is we would never claim that we know all kinds of fires, but the opportunity here is if we discover a new fire, all the devices across whatever is deployed, the library can be updated, and you know that fire would be avoided in the future. So net gain always happens at scale.
So in a situation where both are deployed, would your alarm come before the MCB goes down?
At this stage, we have demonstrated that, yes. So therefore, we are confident we can replace the MCB board itself. That's not the intent. See, honestly, at the user level, it does not matter if you trip at 30 milliseconds or 60 milliseconds, but the technology has already unlocked that space. So it's about time that will happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kaushik.
Thank you,
Thanks for your time. We'll await for the final decision. Now it's time to get our last startup to pitch with us. How many of you guys in the audience are intrigued by robotics and with machines coming in to replace the way we do our construction? And interesting. And we have someone who's going to be coming and talking to us about just that. The company is called Flow Mobility. I would like to call Pratik from Flow, one of the co-founders, to present his idea and concept to us.
Rapid urbanization and increased infraspend, the demand for putting up civil structures is at an all-time high. As per industry estimates, if just all the ongoing projects have to finish on time, there is a requirement of 30% additional workforce. While demand outlook looks super impressive, the rate of growth for new labor force joining the industry is a meager 1.3% compound annual growth rate. So are we looking at more backlogs, more delays, and more heartbreaks for property buyers? Or will the industry be able to cope up with this grim reality? There is indeed a silver lining: automation. Improving productivity through automation is the way to achieve higher output. Flow Mobility is leading the wave of adoption of automation technologies into construction industry. With the vision to be world's largest construction automation company, Flow Mobility is building a suite of products focusing on finishing trades like material hauling, painting, wall finishing, etc. The company has already launched its first product, an autonomous electric wheelbarrow that is bringing significant efficiency improvements to last mile of material movement on construction sites. The electric wheelbarrow is currently deployed for marquee clients: L&T, PSP projects, Capacite, Total Environment, K2K Infra, etc. It is working at a variety of projects: high-rise residential, government buildings, malls, airports, hospitals, data center, and so on, bringing in more than 50% savings in cost while improving safety, reducing material breakage, and expediting project completion. The wheelbarrow carries half a ton of payload, modular dumper with auto unloading, has swappable batteries for continuous operations. Biggest USP of machine is its ability to enter material hoist, eliminating the need of multiple loading-unloading points, thereby automating the vertical movement of material after structures are built, something that is a completely manual process today. Loaded with a host of sensors, the machine is an epitome of rugged design, intelligent controls, and supreme safety. Electric drivetrain makes the operations emission-free, while also reducing running costs and maintenance costs.
Hello, everyone. So now that I've covered what we are doing and why we are doing it, I'll get on to how we are doing and what's our vision, basically. So just a quick recap, we are a construction robotics company, and we think that the industry is at the cusp of disruption right now, and automation is the way ahead. So I'll quickly jump to the team. So me and Manesh started off Flow Mobility around 4 years ago. So Manesh, he's been a veteran. This is his third startup. His previous startup was acquired by Reliance Jio. I've been working in
electric vehicles for the past 8 years now, and having coming from a construction supplier background, I've been closely involved with construction industry and with electric vehicles drivetrains experience. This is the perfect match we think is for the future. So getting on to the investors, like we are backed by IISc, which is one of our biggest investors. We're also supported by Bloom, DevEx, and a few other angel networks like Let's Venture, Jito, and Venture Garage as well. So this is where we currently are at. So we have worked across different types of projects across the country, and also the coverage in the experience we have gotten with the kind of projects we have done as well, right from residential to commercial to hospitals and airports, etc. So we're currently working with around 14 clients, and we have deployed 30 machines across different cities now. We are currently doing a revenue of around 30 lakhs per month. Getting on to the roadmap, so this is about the current product which you saw in the video, but our thought process ahead is that we'll be adding on new products specifically into focusing on the finishing trades, especially like wall finishing, painting, etc. And when it comes to the go-to-market plan, our thought is to expand to Middle East and US in the coming future, using our channel partner strategies and using system integrators in the future. So we aspire to be the world's largest construction automation company, and yeah, that's it.
I like how you're like short and sweet and to the point. Like, you know, this is what we do, this is where we are. But well done, and I think one of the first companies that we've seen who's brought in robotics as a solution to construction as an industry, because like you rightly said, labor is going to be a big shortage for us in the coming years. With that, I'm going to now hand it over to our sharks to ask you the question so that we can take the last startup up.
I think they did not mention the valuation and the money they're raising, right?
Yes.
They did? No. What's the valuation and the money
So
you're
raising around 2 million at 10 million pre-money US dollars.
So you're valuing yourself around 85 to 90 crores already.
Yeah.
So what's your revenue?
So we're currently doing a revenue of 30 lakhs per month. That's where we are currently. And the projected revenue for this year is 2 CR.
And what's your burn rate? How much are you burning?
So on a monthly basis, the burn is around 7 to 8 lakhs, the fixed burn. And then depending upon the POCs and the new projects which we are doing, it keeps on moving up and down. But it's close to that.
Okay.
Where is most of this money going to be spent, what you're raising?
So 1/3 of the money we raise will be going towards the GTM and expansion in new geographies. Another 1/3 of it will be focusing on hiring the new tech talent and basically expanding into IPs, making new products, and also basically acquiring new domain expertise when it comes to the technology part of it.
What is the cost of this machine?
So we provide it on a subscription model. Majorly, we operate on a subscription model wherein we...
I understand, but just to make that, what is the cost? Like, what's the capital cost?
So it's close to 4.5 lakhs.
With
including the entire sensor stack as of now, when we are building in just single digits. But as we scale, that can be easily brought down. Even at a number of 10 machines in one single go, we can get it down to 3 lakhs.
So now, right now, it is only primarily for transportation of material from one place to the other.
Correct.
But when you say about plastering and painting and all of, what does that mean?
So for the plastering robot, we have just our target pricing is 10 lakh rupees.
The entire wall accordingly.
So yes, for wall finishing and plastering, that robot we are targeting to make it below 10 lakhs. And 10 lakhs is like the last threshold will be.
And with the, just as a practical thing, when you are at a site, there are a lot of things which has just been laying around at different places.
Yes.
Now I understand yours is a robotic machine. वो जाएगा कैसे?
So earlier also, like when we start off any new site as well, this is a challenge which we see. But the adoption which we have seen, because right now the sites and the people working at the site, they don't know that there is a four-wheeled vehicle or let's say a machine which is going to be moving around. So that's why they keep things as as you must have seen at different sites. But once we start deploying our machines, and we have seen this within a week's time, now that they know that there's a machine going on, and initially we put in it with an operator as well, who helps us like talk to the on-ground team, helps us get these things sorted out. So within a week, we see that now that everybody knows it, the pathways are cleaned out, at least for the spaces wherein the continuous work is going on.
But more than pathways are clean and they're able to use it nicely, I get it. But you know, the labor who's handling such machines, they are not skilled as such. And कभी आपका कोई ऐसा situation आया है कि आपने मशीन दिया और किसी ने मशीन ही तोड़ दी है और मशीन टूटते जा रही है and everything? Because in the end you are actually taking away the labor. तो वो तो क्या करेगी, वो तो तोड़ देगी. जनरली क्रेन हम मंगाते हैं या कोई भी इक्विपमेंट मंगाते हैं हम लोग, तो उसके साथ ऑपरेटर खुद आता है, तो उसी की जिम्मेदारी रहती है. तो आप ऑपरेटर साथ भेज रहे हो?
So there are both the ways which we are working with clients. So in cases, we are also providing the operators whom we train. In other cases wherein the client wants their operator to use the machines, in that case, we take care of the entire operator training for them. So that is something which we do from our end. Now, when getting back to the question which you asked about breaking the machine, so earlier we also thought that of what are the few basic pointers. One was that I need to move a machine at a site wherein there are no pathways because it's yet to be created. Secondly, the mentality of the user which is going to use it, and at the same time, we wanted these were the core ideas that whatever we are building, we'll build it in a way that it's easiest to operate. Secondly, it is completely proof of any fiddling that can be done. And physically, because it's anyways supposed to handle 500 kgs, वो बनाया वैसा है basically.
मुझे सीधा बताओ, कोई मशीन टूटा है, डेवलपर ने पैसे दिए उसके?
अभी तक कोई मशीन टूटा ही नहीं है सर. वो ट्रेनिंग ही वैसी करते हैं, और then there's an entire layer of sensors. तो अगर ओवरलोड भी हो रहा है, so we get that data. मशीन को कुछ भी गलत हो नहीं पाता. हाँ, small things like punctures कर देना टायर on ground, वो कभी-कभी होता है. But then once they start using it, these things only happen in the first 2 weeks. Uske baad, they are the ones who are scolding us if something goes wrong, because now they have adopted it. So right now we have already deployed around 30 machines. So this year will be
in particular city or all across India?
So we have majorly in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore.
And who are the developers who are using it in Mumbai?
Mumbai, we have deployed the machines with L&T at a couple of their sites. We have also deployed machines with Runwal as well, Runwal Group. And we're doing a couple of POCs with Godrej and Lodha as well, like we've gotten the confirmation.
So, as per you, how much percentage or how many manpower does one machine deployment reduce per month in a site?
Yeah. So usually what happens is this entire material movement using a 1.2 ton kind of a hoist, they usually use 6 to 8 guys. So whatever their current number is, we can easily reduce. If the time needs to be same, we can reduce it by half. But at the same time, we increase the amount of hoist trips, which results in the entire process getting done twice x faster. So overall, there's a optimization of 4x, I would say, that the cost is getting cut by half, and at the same time, the work is happening in half of amount of time as well.
Have you done any scientific analysis or thing?
So for every trip which our machine does, we are recording the data right from the level that how much time is going in loading, how much time is going into the trip, which is loaded trip, how much time is going in unloading, how much time is the machine is coming back empty, and whatever is the idle time. And this entire thing comes up as an analytics dashboard, which we provide to our customers as well, so that they can plan better. If there's a lot of time going in loading, they can add on a loader to fast track that process. If there's a lot of idle time, they can actually give more work allocation to the machine. So all this comes out at every trip level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One last question I have. How much does your subscription cost?
So the subscription cost varies between 55,000 to 60,000 depending upon the shift timings, including the operator.
Per shift?
Yes.
Per shift?
Per shift, per machine,
Okay.
including the
And
operator.
life of machine?
Sorry?
Life of machine?
Life of machine, we are giving 3 years warranty on the battery, and we intend to take it at least to 5 years. That's where we currently are. We need to take it beyond that.
Interesting. Makes sense. Thank you so much, Pratik. That was a short and sweet presentation on robotics, one of the first that we've seen at this level, but thank you so much.
Thank you. So before we are there representing CREDAI, but I think you guys are the ones who are CREDAI, and I want to have some show of hands. What is your thought process about the three things, and where as CREDAI we should be thinking of investing? Since we have such a great audience, I think it is an opportunity for all of us to look at it. So A is Reloy, B is what was it? Suslab, and C is robotics. So, okay, for Reloy.
How many of you guys would like to see an investment in Reloy? Show of hands. How many of you? First one, the SaaS, the marketing data one, Reloy, Akhil. How many of you would like Reloy to have an investment? Reloy.
Okay, that was the first, the marketing and the, okay. Suslabs. यार आप एक ही जन दो बार याद करोगे तो कैसे चलेगा?
Shobit, cheating नहीं कर. Shobit, no cheating.
Okay, robotics. Oh man, guys, you have a, I don't know where
Where are all the three founders?
Where are all the three guys?
Can we have all the three founders back on stage?
Yeah. हाँ ना अभी हम बोल रहे हैं.
अभी तो ये बोलेंगे.
Okay, so
we're calling the three founders. Akhil, Kaushik, and Pratik, can you guys come on stage quickly so we can have the sharks give your outcome? So I'll just say this, that once we decide today, in the next 2 weeks, there would be a Spire IC and then an investment in this. So this event or this session will really actually result in money getting invested in these companies.
As per us, I think the company which should go to the next stage is...
Yeah, at least give feedback to all.
वो अच्छा वाला काम आप करो.
Okay, so 3 different innovative concepts, really nice. And I think we have a tough competition amongst all of us because all 3 are different backgrounds and not of the same field. One is construction, one is marketing, and one is actual thing at work. So, and with the show of hands, it clearly shows that everyone had a different interest in different things. So, but as a base and a start, I think our first thought process, and before we end the result, robotics is very nice, but to an extent, I personally feel, and we all personally feel, that it's a little early in the stage, at least for for the construction, and it would require some things to go. I'm just giving you all some points, and then we'll come to it. Suslabs is something which is a great technology, but somewhere we also feel that if the father of the companies like Siemens or they adopt it, probably this might have a loss in the thing. And for Reloy, I think although the buildings are boring, but this is our bread and butter, and we will not want to make it boring, we make it interesting, but nevertheless, the point is that the cost of running this, or probably the cost of replacing it to a broker, is a challenge, because that's something which continues to happen in terms of referral cost being so high. That is one of the things which we feel. And Nimish, you want to add?
Yeah, no, I think on the robotics, I see while a lot of clients like L&T and all will have more acceptability probably to such a solution. Their sites are very, very different, but they are very, very limited. That's not so we see adoption as a challenge, or acceptability versus a labor force as a challenge. I think just to add to what, so from a Reloy perspective, I don't see the logic of going towards visitor management angle, because I just feel that that's post-delivery, and probably developers have a limited role to play post-delivery, except obviously handover, maintenance and stuff like that. But I think there is a value prop for from the pre-delivery and the customer journey point of view. And India, people love freebies. So that's a fact that we as Indians, we look at Flipkart, we look at Amazon, wherever we see a deal, we'll go there. So we as, I think, Indians, we just love, so there's less loyalty, but interest towards more freebies. So I think that way, that value prop, we find that interesting. SaaS labs, like Dhaval mentioned, it's a product, it's an additional capex, and also we feel that if it is inbuilt at some stage by any of the an intelligent layer which you are providing. But one food for thought, how that can add to the cost savings, just more than providing data. Probably, I think that's what will probably start driving that payback more sooner. So
The winner is Reloy.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, Sharks. And with that, we will call this session to an end. And we'll move on to the next session. I think Murli from Spire is here. He will be in touch with you guys for the next steps. And we'll have the IC and the next steps in the next 2 weeks.
But we also have a great list of audience over here.
Who are very
You may individually pitch to them and talk to them for the projects where they do. So please, by all means, please go ahead and do that.
And also, a lot of people had different mixed views. So it's great if they can all look at it as well.
That was our Proptech session. Binitha, thank you so much for facilitating it. Thank you to our sharks and thank you to our pitchers. I would now like to invite Mr. Atul Shinde on stage to felicitate Mr. Atul Shinde. All right. Gaurav requesting you to join us for the felicitation. Please join us. And Gaurav, I request you to felicitate Dhaval and Mohit. A huge round of applause to our 3 pitchers. We're calling you pitchers today. Gaurav, requesting you to please felicitate Dhaval and Mohit. Harshal, you can felicitate Nimish and Akhil. And for the rest of us, please stay glued to your seats because the 3 best sessions of the summit are coming up next. We have one Power Pack panel on real estate funding. We will then be going into another panel with CREDAI stalwarts, our past presidents, and we will be wrapping up with 2 Olympic champions on stage. So don't go anywhere.